Good evening, I'm Peter McNeil.
And I'm Linda Wright. Welcome to our fourth and final show for the season of Downtown Now.
This evening we're taking you on a walk through downtown Halifax.
That's right, Peter. It's a walk about change. Tonight you'll meet the movers and shakers behind two reports that are sure to rejuvenate downtown.
Plus, with this being football season, we're taking you to a chili cook-off.
But first, it's sawdust, sandpaper, and leather. Our reporter Rainey Field takes us to a huge building downtown that's filled with creative talent on the inside.
I'm standing next to an old red brick building on Marginal Road. While it might not look like much, you're going to discover that looks are deceiving. Thanks to funding from the Port Corporation, the Pier 21 Creative Artisans Association has a new home. Inside are craftspeople with unique gifts ideas, including masonry, pottery, and woodworking. Jeff Cowling of Fine Wood Crafts and Heritage Toys is an artisan who works in the new building. He's noticed a huge difference between this building and their old location.
The studio I'm in, which is about 800 square feet, is about 23 feet high. So I've got about 10-foot higher ceiling, so the volume space is great. It's a much cleaner environment. We don't have rodents running around and stuff like that, which was endemic to the old pier building because of the ships and the proximity to the water. This is a bit further away with the tracks between, and it's been completely renovated, so it's a what I would call a weather-tight building.
The Creative Artisan Association lobbied for over a year for financial help from the Port Corporation, and as Jeff notes, construction is still ongoing.
We've been in here since about September, October of last year. We moved over in a couple of phases. The visual artists, painters, moved first. That section of the building was ready first. And I moved over with the woodworkers about a month later. And some of us are still setting up. I'm still setting up dust extraction and that kind of thing. And it's really proved to be a really great move for us.
Is the construction completed on this building, or is there still work being done?
The section we're involved in, that we're occupying, is all completed, but there is going to be some future renovation in about another third of the building, in the north end of the building.
Having so many different craftspeople centered in one location encourages shared ideas. Bob Campbell creates leatherworks and pottery, and as the new kid on the block, he enjoys the companionship of fellow artisans.
It's isolating, working at home in your own studio. There's some people here doing some really different stuff, and it's pretty neat, really. I think it's great. It's clean, warm, new.
While some artisans do sell their product from this building, most place their work in other retail locations.
I have some stuff at the Art Gallery Nova Scotia gift shop, and a lot of my work is commissions because I've been doing leatherwork for a long time, and so I have a lot of repeat customers.
For Jeff, who showcased his work at the G7, repeat customers are vital to his success.
So I get a return client for especially Christmas time, of course, because people are not that they're desperate for gifts then, but that's when the pressure's on to find something. And typically they're people looking for a guaranteed good quality item, something that they won't have to question or kind of have second thoughts about. So I try and I involve my clients in the design of the things because they're custom gifts. I let them participate in the creative process.
With the new location adjacent to the Pier 21 Interpretive Center, which is set to open this year, many artisans are looking forward to more people dropping into their shops.
Now we're on a public street, that will change, and I imagine once the good weather comes, we'll get our first chance at seeing how effective that'll be. And with the new building opening up with the Pier 21 Society's Interpretation Center, I think we will benefit from each other's traffic for sure.
Thanks, Rainey.
From wood to foam, it all seems very unusual and unique. Our reporter Alison Gillis decided to find out what all the stuffing was about with familiar faces and props.
If you remember seeing us at the Holiday Parade of Lights, you're in for a big treat. Today we're talking with Ray Brimcombe from Familiar Faces and Props.
Ray, how did you get in this business?
I actually needed a Halloween costume many, many years ago, and I couldn't rent or buy what I wanted it to be, so I tried to figure out a way to make it, and I'm still figuring it out as I go along.
And what's been the biggest challenge you've had to overcome in getting your business operating?
The most difficult thing is I think a lot of people seem to think that it's something I can just whip off in a night, and generally it takes a little bit of time to do, like a couple of weeks at least.
So in creating one of these foam faces, is it normally a few weeks or does it depend on the project?
Generally, it depends on the specific project. They're all so individual. Some take a little bit longer than others. Like for instance, I could do one depending on what it is in a couple nights. The other ones could take 2 to 3 weeks depending on how specific.
And is there much demand for props like these?
I'm doing my best to create it. But I think there's a fair amount of demand out there, especially with Halifax coming a little bit more in with movies now.
Mm-hmm. So I wouldn't imagine that there's a lot of competition out there, but do you find that your services are more in demand every year?
It seems to be, as opposed to like over last year, definitely, because it's getting a little bit more specific, and what I do is something I hope that well, it'd be nice that other people would follow, but I don't mind just doing it myself.
Great. And what's been the most challenging project so far?
Probably the most challenging would be probably my mom and dad, to be quite honest with you. And just to get a little bit more specific, get the wrinkles in, and this was wearable. I wasn't going to make it wearable, but I put mom and dad in a parade, or they went in a parade. Well, actually, mom didn't want me to say it's mom. It's a shameless hussy, and this is dad.
Ray, what would be the main focus with your business?
Basically be school mascots. I do a number of different schools, actually, throughout Nova Scotia, throughout Canada. I'm also into TV and film props as well, and a lot of images for corporate companies, as in actual look-alike faces for the head of corporate companies. To do, for instance, if I did your face as a caricature.
If you're looking for a company mascot or a school mascot, you may want to check out Familiar Faces and Props.
You know, Peter, there's been a lot of talk about Barrington Street lately.
Lately, people have been talking about Barrington Street for years.
I know, but this time the talk is good. Instead of more reports, it's a call to action. Not just for Barrington Street, but for the entire downtown core. As reporter Holly Head tells us, 2 reports released by the Downtown Halifax Business Commission have a lot to offer in terms of making things better. Although downtown Halifax may look like a thriving business district to the average Joe, studies suggest it's not meeting its potential. In fact, 2 new studies about to be released from the Downtown Halifax Business Commission reiterate that fact.
Barrington Street has been in decline, having a difficult time. We say in the report for close to 2 generations now, going back into the early 60s with the initial migration of a lot of the retail and office uses to other areas, to the malls, to office towers that were being built in other areas of town, to the 2 towers on either end of Barrington Street, Scotia Square and the Maritime Mall. And it's basically been in decline since then.
David Garrett helped put together one of the studies which looks specifically at problems on Barrington Street between Spring Garden and Duke. Some of the recommendations include promoting the heritage qualities of the area, making use of vacant buildings such as for arts and cultural uses, and even giving the area a hip new name for promotional purposes.
We see this as a range of options, not exactly a recipe, but a list of ingredients that could be put together in a particular way and with a lot of energy from others. And without all of that, nothing will happen.
But Beverly Sandalak says the key to rejuvenating life on Barrington Street lies in fixing problems in the downtown as a whole. She co-authored a study on the history of Halifax and how it has developed.
I guess we differ in that our study believes that you need to consider the city as a whole rather than concentrating on one individual street. And whereas Barrington Street has been, through much of the city's history, one of the important commercial streets, its decline or its demise is a function of things that are happening outside of Barrington Street. So I think it's difficult to fix an individual street just by studying that street or just by making certain cosmetic or small functional improvements to that one street.
One point both studies agree on is that parking is a problem, but Sandalax says in some cases it overlaps another issue, not using public areas for their intended purpose, which takes away from the pedestrian-friendly atmosphere.
The Grand Parade specifically is of concern, and I think that should be of concern to everyone who lives in Halifax. Grand Parade is one of the oldest public squares in Canada. I think it is the oldest civic square. And right now it's been used a lot of the time for private parking for councillors. And that I think is a bit of a disgrace. It's a public space and it should be used as a public area.
In addition to the problem of parking, the studies agree on the issue of multi-purpose usage.
Any development that occurs downtown should include a mix of use. It has been shown in North America and elsewhere that buildings that only focus on one use tend to be quite dead. They have a use maybe 8 hours of the day, but the other 16 hours they don't have a use. And what you really need for a downtown is a 24-hour population. So any development that occurs downtown should have a mix of retail, some kind of business, and some kind of residential use.
Kate Carmichael from the Business Commission says both studies will be used to get both government and community involved in a plan of action.
Town hall meetings, and there'll be public sessions, there'll be seminars, we'll be bringing in some gurus on downtowns. One's coming from California, a professor at the University of California at Berkeley. So there'll be a whole series of events through the year sort of centered around this. Workshops, focus groups. Come and talk to us about a variety of issues.
And when might we see some changes?
Hopefully, right after January the 20th. On January the 20th, we'll launch this whole legacy project and these 2 studies. And then from there, we'll start to have these sessions. I would hope that by the 21st, we can start to work with regional municipality and on some of the issues that are easily changed and not expensive, because we don't need it to be a navel-gazing session. We need to see results.
One thing both studies agree on is that the history and beauty of Halifax must be preserved and cherished in the hopes that it will revive life in the downtown area. For Downtown Now, I'm Holly Head.
Thanks, Holly. It's hard to believe that it's been 2 generations of neglect for Barrington Street. It's really nice to see studies that have action plans, and hopefully this summer our show will have an update on what's being done to turn words into action.
Speaking of action, did you know that Winterfest, which is the new name for the Waterfront Winterfest Festival, is only 3 weeks away?
Hard to believe it's that time again. I remember last year they had face painting, street hockey, music for the kids, and lots of warm weather.
Well, this year they've got that and much more. Our reporter Renee Field talked to Holly Winchester, a committee member with the Winterfest Festival, to see what's been planned for this year.
I'm with Holly Winchester, who's a committee member on Winterfest. Holly, could you tell me a little bit about the name change for Winterfest? I understand that last year it used to be called the Waterfront Winterfest, and this year it's just called Winterfest.
That's right. The reason for that essentially is that the last 2 years Winterfest was primarily on the waterfront, and this year we decided that we would invite more of the downtown area to get involved, so we thought that waterfront just sounded a little too exclusive.
And when does it take place this year?
It's February 19th to 22nd.
And what's going to be happening in that time frame?
Oh, all kinds of really fun things. It's really a terrific family event. There will be lots of kids' entertainment all day Saturday and all day Sunday, and clowns walking the waterfront, and lots of things going on outside and inside. Inside there will be winter mini golf and puppeteers and magicians and musicians and all kinds of things to entertain everybody in the family.
Is there anything new that's being added this year compared to last year?
Well, it's still in the planning stages. So far, one great new idea that we have is for an Ironman competition. I think that's going to take place on the Grand Parade up on Barrington Street. That's going to be really interesting to watch.
And what are there any events for adults? Seems to be geared a lot for children, but are there specific things for adults to take part in?
Sure, yeah. Aside from satisfying the child in all of us, there's also the Dine Around. This is the 3rd year for the Dine Around. It's an opportunity to visit a couple of different restaurants for different courses and and try out a little bit of fare for a very low price.
And I understand that there's something also, a music crawl, is that
There's a tour. We're encouraging people to visit all of the pubs and venues downtown that have entertainment during that weekend, and we're offering a passport which will get you into all the various places, take the place of the cover charges that you might have to pay, so you can see a little bit of the entertainment.
So there's something for everyone, it sounds
Pretty
like.
much, yeah.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
It's hot. It's spicy. It'll burn you up. It's time for Bob Chan's Chili Cook-Off.
Hi everybody, it's Bob Chan from Bravo Fine Foods. I invited my good friend Dave from Job's House of Peppers to have a little chili cook-off today. It's Super Bowl season. There's nothing like a good bowl of Texas Red to go down with a little bit of pigskin. And we've got something that I cooked up using a few of my ingredients, and something that Dave cooked up using some of his ingredients. Mine has beans in it, and Dave's doesn't. It's one of those personal choice things. And we're going to do a little taste test. You first?
Okay, wouldn't it be easier if you tested mine and I tested yours?
You're on. You're not going to make me try on TV, are you?
It all depends.
All right. Whew. Is it hot in here, or is it just me? How's yours?
It's very good. I prefer mine with a little more heat.
You've got a lot of heat on this one. I'm surprised that I can still hold it. Oh, flavor, hot. We're doing a little. Does it look good? Oh, something else that I like, just to be different, is I sprinkle a little popcorn onto my chili. It gives it a little texture, gives it a little extra crunch, makes it a little different. Let's see.
I noticed you also use beans in your chili.
Mm.
I chose to make a regular Texas style, which is just meat, no fillers. Beans are considered fillers.
Straightforward.
Yeah, traditional Texas chili is just basically meat, tomatoes, peppers, seasoning.
My God, that was good.
Very
hot.
good.
Now, what we're using is a little bit of smoke, a little bit of hot sauce. It's one of those two flavor things. And I use this little Texas chili kit just as a starter. And then you add whatever you want to add, and it comes out as hot as you want it. Thanks a lot.
Thanks, Bob.
That really looked good, and what better way to wrap things up than on a spicy note for this season?
You're right, Peter. We hope you've enjoyed this season's shows. If you have any questions concerning the show or would like to bounce a story idea off us, write to the number on your screen or call the Downtown Halifax Business Commission at 423-3848. Thanks again.
And have a great night.
Goodbye. Thanks for watching.